Hello again, everybody. Today we're going to be drawing the lampshade for your desk lamp. To begin with, I'm just going to click home here so we can get our view into that nice orientation. I'm now going to just show you very quickly what we're going to be doing. We're going to be mimicking this style of lampshade, a little bit similar to this. And to do that, we are going to need to set another work plane, but we're going to have to offset it from here because we want it to be right in the middle of the bracket. Okay. Before I continue though, I'm going to go to Tools and select Component Color Cycling, just so I always prefer to work in this view. I find that sometimes when you open up your file, it defaults back to everything being grey, but I tend to prefer it like this so I can see distinctly my separate components. And I've already created a component for the lampshade, but I've just not named it, so I'm going to do that now. Okay, there we go, and I'm going to now activate that component. So the first thing we're going to do, as I said, is we are going to add a work plane. So we're going to now, we looked at a tangent plane recently, we're going to do an offset plane this time. So we're going to click that, and we want to offset a plane from this face this way. We want it to be perfectly in line with the z-axis, which is this blue line here. You'll see on this view, this blue line is also representative on here as the z-axis, okay, as it is with this view. And as you see, when I do this, it jumps either side from 20 to 25, but it looks like if I go to 23 mil, it will be right on the money. So I'll press that, and now we have our work plane right in the middle. Next, I'm going to say new sketch on that new work plane, and I'm just going to put a few construction lines to help me with this first. So I'm going to press line, and then when we have our sketch palette here, again, we've got the construction tool. So you can either press it on here or just keep using the X button to help you. I'll quickly show you. So just using the X button toggles that on and off when you're in a drawing mode. And what I'd like to do is, I'm just going to use this center point. I'm going to draw a line up here. I'm going to press escape. I'm going to press L again for line, just so I can draw another fresh one. And I'm going to take one from this point. So it's toggled onto that, it's locked onto that. But if I look closely, it's not actually toggling onto the line, it's onto the grid. But I want to use that line. However, it's not coming through when I use this tool. So I'm just going to project it through again, just to help me so I can keep it a bit more accurate. I'm going to select that one. I'm going to press OK. And now that line will be a point of reference, and I'll be able to utilize it. So now it will click onto that line. I can then draw in a construction line. And as you can see, it's gone solid, but I can just click it and press X. And these are now construction lines that I can use. This one, as you can see, isn't quite straight. So another useful tool to know about is this parallel tool. So I can tell it I want this line to be parallel with this line, and it will lock it in place for me. And I've just put those in to give me a little point of reference whilst I draw the form for my lampshade. We're going to draw the lampshade very much split in half in 2D. And so what I mean by that, I'm going to zoom out just to make sure I'm drawing it in the right way round. Yep. So I'm going to draw the smaller part of the lampshade on the right hand side here, and then the big part on this side. And I'm just going to use the line tool. I'm going to make sure construction's off now, and I'm going to use this as my starting point. So I'm going to come back, and I'm just going to do this visually for the purpose of this task. I'm going to then make sure it passes through the bracket, but with a little bit of clearance. We can just make it parallel if need be, that's fine. But if it's at a slight angle, it's not going to matter too much. I'll put it at a slight angle actually. Then I'm going to now do quite a straight shape for my cone, for my shade even. I'm going to bring this line across here. What's quite nice with Fusion is it tries to understand what you're doing and give you a few little lines to help you do it as well. So I'm going to bring that right up to there. Then I'm going to draw the last line back to here. So now I have a fully closed polygon, which I can use for my sketch. For my revolve, I'll press finish sketch. Now I'm going to hit revolve. I'm going to select these two areas. Now this is where it's asking me the axes. So I click here and I tell it I want to revolve around that axis. And as you can see, it's revolved that 2D polygon around that 360 degrees around that axis. And if I have a quick zoom out, you can see with the previews, that's pretty much what I want. So I'm going to press OK. Once you've done that, I suggest you do a shell. You're going to click on that front face. We'll go 1 mil. We'll press OK, and then we have our hollowed out lampshade. Okay, now as you can see, there's a bit of an overlap here with the bracket and the lampshade, so we will go back and edit that in the next video, and I'll show you how to. But to begin with, once you've done this, you might look at it and go, oh, that's a bit too big. I don't really like it that big. And that's where you can go into the sketch here. We can just edit this. We can modify it. So we could pull this back if we want. We could pull that forward. You can use the dimension tool if you want. I could even pull that node over to here. If I wanted a curve, I could delete this line. And I could put in an arc. So I can click from here to here. And I could drop it down. Okay, if you wanted to get a bit fancier with it, you could even draw in an extra kind of lip. I'll delete this line here. I'll bring that up. I'll bring that across. And then I can use the trim tool just to trim off those lines. Oh, I select the wrong one there. I'll just undo. And I'll go back and trim again, that one. So you always want a nice, neat, fully closed polygon like that. And when it goes blue, that's always a good sign. Constraints and dimensions were removed during operation. That's fine. And then we're good. I'll say finish sketch, and it will update automatically your new form. So as you can see, if I scroll out now, it's a little bit smaller. Looks a bit bulky though, so I might play around with that again and just get it a bit smaller. And as you can see, this is what I think that warning was over here. So I'm going to delete that and do the shell again. I might go a little bit thicker too. There we go. Okay. And there now I have my lampshade. Okay. So I'm going to activate the whole thing, and we're getting closer to a virtual model now of our lampshade. As you can see, we've got a bit of conflict here, but I'll show you in the next video how you can go back, tweak the bracket so it rests on the sides of the lampshade. And with virtual modeling, sometimes as we evolve the design, we see these conflicts, but we can easily go back to the component, back to the tool, and modify it quickly. And I'll be showing that in the next video. And then we're going to be bringing in a light bulb from an external GrabCAD library to put in here as well. Okay, fantastic, thank you. I hope that's useful.